Ringmaster is a rage baiter, in the sincerest sense of the word. Just look at this clip. My ES catches out their treant, so I reposition to somewhere a bit safer. I see LC for a split second as she tries to blink on me. If she succeeds, my team doesn't have their saves for the rest of the fight. Lucky for me, she overshoots her blink and I'm allowed to reposition a bit. Does this stop the LC from trying to duel me?
Nope.
I hate you!
Oh my goodness, look who couldn't keep their cool and is now wildly out of position.
Ah!
Die, Witch Doctor. He tried to solo Witch Doctor.
And the best part? You'll learn how to do that and a whole lot more in this video. We're covering everything from fundamentals to tips and tricks so you can get everything you need to know no matter your experience. Welcome to the ultimate guide to... Now let's get to those fundamentals I was talking about.
That thing bleeding to the, you know what I mean?
Wacky slush.
That thing bleeding, P.
So before we actually talk about anything this guy can do, we have to look at his facets. Or should I say, facet. The fact that Carney Classics has the Strongman tonic will always make it the better option. The ability to dump that much strength onto one target is insane. I get it, right? The mirror and the whoopee cushion have their uses, but play this hero for an extended period of time and you will be astounded at how often you're burning through souvenirs just to get the Strongman tonic. I want to love Sideshow Secrets as much as the next guy, but look at this.
Okay, man. Oh, I couldn't get it off. Oh.
Killing spree, double kill.
Easy.
That cast range is absurd, and it saves my Dro from the Melodic Burst. I could do all that, or ride a unicycle and throw pies. As long as Strongman Tonic is in the game, you will always pick Carney Classics. Now don't get me wrong, the other souvenirs have their uses. You can use the mirror to effectively Manta dodge, and it has twice the iframes as Manta. If you ever want to impress the core players on your team, do something flashy with this. It'll win them over every time. Also, you would not believe how often people get tricked by this illusion. It's honestly scary, and part of me wonders if Ringmaster's visual design was intentionally made to confuse people with it. Also, it's not as fancy, but if you ever need to scout an area, your trusty illusion will get the job done just fine. Yes, even after the nerf, it's still viable. I mean, what else are you gonna do with it? Whoopee Cushion as well can come in hella clutch. It can be the difference between dying or living, or securing a kill or letting an enemy escape. It's also great for taking small little shortcuts around the map. For Sideshow Secrets, I really don't have anything substantial to say about these. I wish Unicycle switched places with the Whoopee Cushion, since you can honestly save yourself a TP scroll just by using this thing to rotate between lanes or just getting out of dodge.
Our ward in this top.
Oh, you guys are still fighting down there?
Yes. I'm fighting
Behind
this
the
entire
tower?
time. Yeah.
I made it out.
I mean, I was trying to get out of it.
There's no way you're chasing the guy on the unicycle. These guys are psychos. It's also just really, really fun to use. Crystal Ball is pretty unique in that it's a scan mixed with Dust of Appearance, with global cast range. I don't think I've ever done anything game-changing with this, but I always appreciate saving 50 gold on a sentry. As for the pie, I just use this to kill the big creep in neutral camps. With how many dispels are in the game, the vision reduction doesn't even matter. Just get a psychic headband to achieve something similar. If Valve ever wants us to use a different facet, I think their best bet is just leaving the souvenirs alone and focusing on some other aspect of Ringmaster's kit. It doesn't even feel like Ringmaster has an innate ability, there's just two facets existing within context of each other. Oh, and one more thing. These souvenirs all behave like items. You can use them while silenced, but not when muted. Both your teammates and your enemies will not know this. But you know what they will know? Your spec. Now, reading through Ringmaster's abilities, I noticed something strange. Something weird. Anyways, I'm sure it's nothing too drastic. Starting with Tame the Beasts, this ability is fairly diverse. It's Ringmaster's obligatory nuke with a fear built in. It kind of sucks as a fear, since with turn rates, heroes spend half the fear duration just turning around to run away. But outside of that, it's a really wonky ability to use with its 1 second channel time. I know it's tempting to buy Yules and Atos as a setup, but don't. Just don't. I promise you this ability works much better as a defensive tool, and it's really easy to hit people when they're being aggressive. It takes a bit of practice, but after the first 5 times using this ability, it should be no challenge at all. Before you get the AoE talent, wave clearing can be kinda weird, but it's not that big of a deal either. I also find it intriguing how this ability can be buffed by 3 different talents, but I wouldn't even call it Ringmaster's signature ability. No, that title belongs to something else. Tame the Beasts can also chunk people with the level 20 talent, and one-shotting waves has never felt more satisfying. It's versatile, annoying to deal with, and can be quite skill expressive. Keep in mind that the enemy only knows the direction in which you're casting it. They don't actually know where you're going to hit. You can play mind games with this, aiming it closer to you if they're approaching. They will walk forward thinking they'll dodge it, but once in melee range, they get snapped and you can make your next move. And don't forget that you can cancel the channel at any time. Though of course the fear nor the damage will be that substantial. You can also use it to synergize with your ult, but more on that later. The next ability is, let's save this one for later. Impalement Arts is what separates the good Ringmasters from the great ones. If you can consistently hit these, your lanes will be stupidly easy. People often overlook max percentage HP damage. I see it in Underlord and I see it in Ringmaster as well. Sure, one level 1 knife seems like it doesn't do a lot of damage, but that's only because it's dealt in smaller packages. Unironically, if you hit someone with this at level 1, a blood grenade and a few right clicks will delete half their health at least. It also has this really nice quirk where each time you level it up, you get an extra charge automatically. This also has a habit of coming in clutch during the lane, and it's the reason you max this ability first every single time. You may be tempted to use the slow to make hitting your Q easier. Be careful about this. You can buffer your Q during the throwing animation for the knife, but Ringmaster will wait for the full backswing of the knife throw to be over before actually starting to channel the whip. Just throw an extra right click or press your stop command before going for the whip during this combo. Also, the knife gives a small amount of vision as it flies by. I mostly use this to check runes from far away, but you can check ward spots or something or other. If you fling your knife into the dark and it gets cut short, it most likely means a smoke gank is incoming and you gotta bounce. If it does hit a visible target, the vision lingers for a bit so you can ping it out to your allies. The mana cost and the amount of charges essentially means you can fling these around without really caring all that much. Due to how the knives interact with creeps, they will always one-shot ranged creeps. Sometimes you don't really need to walk up to a wave to push it. Just taking out the range creep is enough to get it pushing in your team's favor without committing your time or yourself to a dangerous position. I also find them useful for stacking multiple camps at once. The slow isn't really going to hinder the creep's move speed either, so go nuts with it. During team fights, it's always good to throw these out for damage or catch any retreating heroes. But also, make sure you don't give yourself away by throwing them out. Any Joe Schmo with a blink dagger is going to see a knife come from fog, and the first thing on their minds is going to be blinking and killing you. If your team relies on you for a save, restraint with the knives is crucial. It's honestly baffling with what you can do with this ability. The fact that a long-range projectile can do so much on the map is a testament of Dota's game design. Anyways, the knives are your bread and butter ability, but they're not Ringmaster's signature ability. Wheel of Wonder is also not his signature ability, even though it's his ultimate ability. Despite how it works, this isn't some huge ult like Supernova or Black Hole, so don't treat it as such. It works best as area denial. There are numerous situations in which you should use the wheel. The first is if you see a teammate getting gone on. You can actually click on their top portrait with the wheel to get it on their exact location. It's an easy way to hypnotize enemy heroes, and the players quick enough to react will walk away from your ally. The second situation is if you're fighting near the stairs. The wheel's AoE is huge. Any stair on the triangle can be completely blocked off by this thing, meaning that you can either cover your team's escape or deny the escape of your enemies. If you're being chased and have a whoopee cushion, you can cast the wheel in front of you and just cushion yourself into the AoE. Most enemies will just let you live if this happens. It's actually crazy the lengths people will go to avoid getting hit by this ability. I've seen people put more effort into not looking at this thing than not looking at Medusa during Stone Gaze. I don't know if there's just this cultural hatred of the wheel or what. People will willingly walk towards your team and ensure their deaths, then walk at the wheel. It's unreal. The wheel also has some neat little quirks that I think are worth mentioning. It counts as its own unit, meaning if it catches Mars or Bristleback, it'll calculate damage based on the wheel's orientation rather than yours. This ability has 400 flying vision. If it hypnotizes someone, it'll give vision of them as well. The wheel projectile has some knockback, which is really only useful in some clutch situations. Its usefulness really depends on your timing. There's also an obvious synergy with the whip, but it doesn't really happen that often, surprisingly. You mostly end up fearing people away from the wheel rather than into it. The wheel also destroys trees in a 300 radius once it arrives. You can catch timber saws and monkey kings off guard with this if you're a pro gamer. Also, the hypnotize cannot be dispelled. No PTA, aphotic shield, or blubber is going to save those afflicted. It's a really useful ability, but it's not what makes Ringmaster good. No. What makes Ringmaster a good hero is something far, far more powerful. It's something I've been alluding to this entire time. The boss. Ringmaster is not a hero without Escape Act. The best part of this ability is how stupid you can make your enemies feel. This Tiny thought it was the freest kill. He thought the Marana arrow and the dust would ensure Largo's death through the Glimmer Cave, but no, not at all. Look how he scrambles for a safety net once Largo is boxed, but there's nothing he can do now. He is left drowning in the consequences of his actions, left to face the fact that his own pride and bloodlust led him to this decision as he faces the wheel. His psyche is laid bare for all to see, ally and enemy alike. As he is killed, the realization dawns that in fact, had he shown a nano-angstrom of respect towards the boss, that his own life would still be intact, and that after all of this, he has made himself the fool in a circus of my own design. How enraging, how infuriating, and yet he has no control over it, tormented over and over by the boss. Every play he makes, every time he tries to have impact, waiting for him at all times is the boss. Such is the case for all victims of the boss, doomed to overextend and perish, unlearning in their own hubris, his whole team gone. No, the boss doesn't do any damage per se, but the boss is a psychological tormentor, ensuring the gnashing of teeth and the feeble, helpless rage of your enemies. Your teammates are the bait, but the boss is the hook, and it pierces their pink, mushy egos, skewering them all the way through until all that's left is a broken, pathetic, wet sop of regret. Oh. Well, to be fair, a nullifier is like 4,500 gold. No, the actual way to deal with the box is for the enemy team to kill you first. Most of the time, the items you build are used to keep you alive rather than your team. You already have the box, but a Night Stalker can cause huge problems for you if you don't have a Yules or a Force Staff or something. You have to be real attentive with which heroes on the enemy team are going to try to seek you out first. For some examples, Legion Commander, Night Stalker, Tiny, and Ricky will always look for you first if they're smart. I say if because the intelligence of Dota players is always going to vary. This basic ability is so influential, people will give everything just to take it out of the fight. It is your strongest ability and the one you're going to be the most impactful with, despite maxing it last. It's the epitome of a one-point wonder. Overextending means death, and if you can make people do it, well, you can do the math on that one. Now, like every spell, this one has some quirks. When you box someone, it makes them stop for a bit while the animation plays. Also, the cast point is surprisingly long. I can't count how many times I'm trying to save someone and they die mid-animation, and I get pinged until my eardrums bleed. But from these experiences, I've learned to always try to have a tonic ready. That extra health can be all you need to save someone. I'm reusing this clip as an example, but since the tonic has a bigger cast range, it can be the setup for Escape Act. Now don't get me wrong, this ability isn't a cure-all for your team. I'm saying this now, you will grief at some point with the box.
Oh my god, he's alive, he's alive. Oh my god.
Please quit putting me in shit. Please quit putting me in shit.
Put you?
I need to be fucking hit him! Who boxed me? Fucking God bless it, guy!
Sorry. The best thing you can do in these situations is to simply learn from it and keep track of your allies' cooldowns for next time. Necrophos was looking for a scythe that would have given him the extra regen to survive the Tiny, and my box denied him that opportunity. Some people will take this rather poorly and disable help from you altogether. Some people will preload into the game with help disabled. Make sure you always ask your team if they have help disabled, since you don't want to be standing in the backline getting nothing done, spamming your box only for nothing to happen. Also, if you buy Gleipnir or Dazun Bloodright thinking it'll increase the break AoE of the box, it won't, sadly. Speaking of the box, it has a really nice Before we get to the namesake of this chapter, we also have to talk about talents. I would say the left hand 10 and left hand 15 are really the only useless ones. Right hand 25 is also useless, but only because you're giving up on the strong dispel box. In most games, your talent tree should look like this. I see so many people take the BKB whip, it's scary. I don't think there's a single instance in which it's going to be a game changer. It's not like you can use the debuff immunity to ensure you box someone or anything. It only makes sure you get the full channel off, and that's it. Not very impactful. When it comes to level 20, there is some genuine nuance here. The extra duration on knives can help melt problem tanks, and a 2-second slow can turn this ability from an inconvenience to an actual catch tool. The whip damage, however, gives Ringmaster some nice scaling and can one-shot a creep wave every time. Level 25 is always the box buff. The unobstructed movement is applicable in more situations than you think, and the strong dispel can get your allies out of so many death sentences, it's unreal. This strong dispel does not get rid of Nullifier, so don't even try it. Your Aghanim Shard isn't anything to kill a Tormentor over, but with how PL is shaping up in the meta, I'd keep your eye on it. The past iteration with the single spotlight was way too strong, so now we're left with the triple lights. The vision it gives isn't really consistent, nor is the blind. I mostly get this to deal with illusion heroes and not much else. Now, Aghanim Scepter is where things get crazy. You thought forcing someone to overextend was broken, but what if you did it twice?
I killed everything, guys.
You box me again. I'm good. Never mind. I'm trying to come back to you. Thank you.
Most games you probably won't have the money for this, but if you skip all defensive items and get right into Aether, into Blink, into Ags, you can pull off some serious BS. This LC should be dead twice over, but since I get 2 charges, she gets to live another day. Or in this clip, I use the first charge to avoid getting truth nuked by the Weaver and Hoodwink. That way I'm alive with a second charge should my team need it. And since a charge has been cooking up since the first use, it's likely I'll be able to get it off a third time before the fight's over. It's disgusting what you can do with just 2 charges. I wouldn't blame Valve if they put the second charge at level 25 instead at some point. Anyways, I hope you like losing, because the things in this next chapter will make you do it. This segment is going to talk about what counters Ringmaster in general and how to play around those factors. And first, we're talking heroes. Here we have the Venn diagram of heroes. Some heroes either end up countering the box, or end up countering you by jumping the backline and disabling you. I feel like most of these speak for themselves, but the 4 heroes in the middle are going to be your worst counter picks. First up is Batrider. If he's not lassoing you, he's lassoing one of your teammates. You can't dispel the lasso until level 25, so for most of the game, if you box someone that gets lassoed, Batrider will just pull them out of the AoE. Your best counterplay is to try to hit a Wheel of Wonder to slow the bat down, and once lasso is over, then use your box. You can also try for a proactive box, but this only really works if you have vision of the Batrider before he blinks in. Clockwork's combo can completely stuff Escape Act. Battery Assault will cause you to stutter your cast animation once before it actually goes off, which in the moment could be a death sentence for yourself or whoever you're trying to save. If Clockwork combos an ally, your box won't get them out of the cogs, and it won't let them attack the cogs to get out of them. No matter if you box or not, it's a lose-lose situation. Just pray your cores get a BKB, or be brave and right-click cogs yourself. You might die doing this, but if it means a core survives, then so be it. Glimmer Cape is also a really good item against this hero, just for the magic shield. Mars Arena with a vision facet completely shuts down your gameplay, not to mention he can spear the box target out of the AoE. It doesn't hurt to always have an observer ward in your pocket in case you need to see in the arena. Eul Scepter is also not a bad option, since if you're the one getting jumped, you can Euls right after the stun ends and waste a whole lot of arena duration up in the air. If you're a true gamer, you can Euls before the spear even touches you. It can also be used on Mars himself. Throwing your wheel into the arena is also not a bad play, since it gives flying vision in a 400 radius, and Mars will probably not want to be in the arena anymore after it's there. Lastly, there's Timbersaw. This is your biggest counter, since he does not care one smidgen about magic resistance, or his enemies being untargetable. It is a fruitless endeavor to box someone while they're fighting Timbersaw. The optimal play is to not box them at all, and pick up a Euls or a Force Staff to get them as far away from the Timbersaw as possible. Your Wheel and Whip also work as amazing defensive tools against this hero. If the game goes to 35 minutes, you can be sure he's going to get a BKB, and then it's time to be afraid. As for items to watch out for, obviously Nullifier is one. There's not much you're going to do about this item. Strongman Tonic isn't dispellable, so it's really the only answer to it. You can also Euls the core, hitting your nullified ally, but if they have a Nullifier, they probably have a BKB as well, so just be careful about it. Speaking of BKB, this is also something to watch out for. People will absolutely buy it to deal with you, so just have your defensive items ready to help yourself or an ally make like a tree and get out of there. Blink Dagger also deserves a mention because it can turn any core on the enemy team into a Ringmaster killer. If you're aware they have one, it won't be much of an issue for you, however. Just keep tabs on that guy.
Take action regarding that individual!
Now the talk about enemy heroes doesn't end here, because Ringmaster is really good against a lot of heroes. Shout out to two groups of heroes that will hate your guts. Turret carries and illusion heroes. Illusion heroes get absolutely blasted by Spotlight, and if you stick a wheel in front of a turret carry, they're forced to either pop BKB, or stop attacking and look away for 4 seconds. You might notice that in both charts, LC has an asterisk next to her name. This is because she has a very complicated relationship with Ringmaster. She has the potential to absolutely ruin your life, or you have the potential to ruin hers. It all depends on you being the unseen savior in the shadows. If you can dodge every attempt from her duel, you're doing the right thing. Some LCs will buy a Nullifier instead of dueling you. When this happens, the best course of action is to throw your wheel at the nearest exit. That way, when the duel ends, it'll hurt really badly if she tries to leave, and any incoming support for the LC will be forced to stay away while the wheel is out. Now that we've made enough foes, I think it's time we make some There are a handful of heroes that synergize with you very well. The first and most obvious is Axe. If Axe lands a call, you can cast your wheel right on the top portrait, ensuring it lands in the middle of everything. Depending on when you cast it, it's guaranteed to catch all the taunted units, unless they pressed BKB before getting called. Mars is also a big one, since the AoE of the wheel and arena are pretty much the same. Additionally, his spear will always make the target face him, so if it's someone you need to lock down, you can capitalize on the opportunity with the wheel. Heroes with a number of hits mechanic will appreciate the fear from the whip, and the strength cores will go crazy for a bit of tonic. Most offlaners are circles on the ground type heroes, and so are you. This is why I think Ringmaster is best in the 4 role, since he just plays so well with other offlaners. Also, don't forget that support duos are a thing in this game, and this whole list of them are going to be a great pair-up for the majority of the game. Most supports not listed either lack the damage or lack hard stuns to set up for your abilities. A Silencer plus Ringmaster combo isn't exactly a gank squad unless your pause 2 or 3 has a decent stun.
You a bank loan? No? Yes? Yes? No?
Putting on a good circus means budgeting your resources properly. You wouldn't want one of your clowns to misperform because of your reckless spending. Therefore, I present to you this nifty little item guide that will be linked in the description below. I know it might seem a bit stupid to skip a defensive item for your Aether Lens, but Aether Lens is so crucial in keeping you out of harm's way when boxing your allies. Not to mention your box is already a good save, and if an enemy core is rushing a Nullifier this early into the game, then they are probably sacrificing a lot of their heroes' usual power spikes and item timings. They definitely won't have a BKB and are susceptible to the rest of your kit. I'd say you should really only spend money on one defensive item. And here's where you have to do something Dota players hate doing. Critical thinking. Look at the other 9 heroes in the game and how they interact with each other. Do they have a Slark who's going to pounce on you? Buy a Yules. What about an Ursa? Force Staff is your friend. Getting Glimmer or Solar is really just dependent on what type of damage the enemy team does. Also, depending on the enemy team's heroes, it might be better to play it safe and buy 2 defensive items. Now after you buy your defensive stuff, it's time to look at the double trouble, Blink and Aghanim Scepter. I've already gone over how Ags is useful, but Blink Dagger is straight up stupid. Every single fight, the enemy team is going to be looking for you. So if you just stay hidden in the trees 2 screens away, they won't find you, and you can still be there for when your team needs you. Some games, it's just not necessary at best, and a money sink at worst. If you're ever against the Spectre, Blink Dagger is useless, and you're better off just buying your Ags. If the enemy team has more than one jump hero, it's a good idea to get your Ags first before the Blink Dagger. If the game has gone on long enough, just buy a Hex after your Ags. It'll always be useful. As for neutrals, this can vary, but the one consistency is cast range and mana regeneration. If you ever get an enchantment or an artifact that can increase your cast range or mana regen, take it. Now you might have noticed the lack of Rod of Atos. This is for a few reasons. Firstly, it makes you actually have to aim your abilities, which is a good skill to learn in the long run. Secondly, if your team has absolutely no catch, nor the intention of building it, then it is your responsibility to buy one. It sucks, I know, but covering weaknesses is a huge part of Dota. If you're buying it just so your skill shots are easier, think of a Pudge player doing the same thing. Yeah, pretty pathetic. Ringmaster is a great first blood hero. Just 1 knife and a blood grenade will chunk any hero, and a follow-up from your teammates will be all you need to secure the kill. As for the lane, your ideal game plan is just to annoy the enemy core as best you can. Get some clean knife angles and right clicks without putting yourself in danger. It can be a bit hard to not aggro the creeps, so just try to issue the attack command from out of vision to avoid this. You can trade decently well against most supports, but it's never going to be a stomp. You don't want to try and burst someone with your whip, you want to keep throwing knives and right-clicking. Never let them feel safe. If they get uppity towards you or your core, that's when the whip comes out. Tame the Beasts is a very fitting name for the spell because that's essentially what you're doing. Don't be afraid to use your whip to contribute towards a kill if you and your offlaner are going for one. Do all the normal position 4 stuff, rotate for runes, stack camps, etc. Your knives make you very efficient at stacking camps, and the cast range of your abilities lets you participate a safe distance from fights. With the exception of Box. Escape Axe cast range is criminally short, hence the Aether One's pickup. Going into the mid game, make sure you're stocked up on mana. In fights, you want to look for good wheel opportunities and deal a consistent amount of damage with your knives. It can be hard to keep track of 9 other things moving on the screen, but it's a skill you'll develop across your ringmastering career. You should really be saving your box for your cores unless there's an Oracle on your team or something. Funnily enough, Ringmaster plays really similar to Winter Wyvern of all heroes. You have a long-range DOT that does damage based on HP, a save spell, AoE wave clear, and an ultimate that makes everyone stay in one place if they're caught by it. And one of their Aghanim's upgrades makes both of their saves do AoE damage too. But that aside, when you go for ganks, you usually never want to be the guy that starts it. Leave it to the heroes with point-and-click disables, since your fear isn't a substantial CC and neither is your knife. When taking Roche, always stand outside of the pit, but still in box distance. Your right clicks aren't going to kill it any faster. If you don't have a ward on the enemy's high ground, periodically throwing a knife to scout doesn't hurt. This also applies to sieging tier 3s as well. And don't worry, heroes can still pick up the Aegis while in the box, so don't worry about griefing it. Just keep in mind that your box will make your target stop for half a second before they can do anything. In the late game, the enemy cores have at least one nullifier, and are likely tired to the bone of your antics. Your cores may be strong, but you are still target number 1. Your level 20 talents are both really good at increasing your damage, but in the late game, Burst will always triumph over DOT. Push waves when you're able, find pickoffs with the team, and try to play around places with narrow pathways and confined spaces, since that's where Ringmaster thrives. The triangle will be the most ideal place for a fight to break out. And yeah, that's all the wisdom I have when it comes to Ringmaster. I know I never usually make gameplay content, but I have had such a blast playing Ringmaster that I wanted to make this video and share what I've learned from playing him. He's an outrageously fun support with an amazing aesthetic, not to mention the set he got. You wouldn't believe how much money I shelled out to Valve to get this in the game. Anyways, that's all from me. Thanks a ton for sticking around until the end. It means a lot to me that y'all take the time out of your days and nights to watch my content. And if you want more gameplay guides, check out my dear friend and script editor Mel's channel for tips on how to be the scariest support imaginable, aside from Ringmaster himself. I sincerely hope you enjoyed and learned something here today. God bless, and until next time.